And we've got David here to help start putting some of this together. And then... Hey, so here we are in the aft lazarette again. This is my favorite part of the boat. Okay, so what I'm here to do is we've got our cut to size diameter radial wheel drive, because remember I ordered that too big, so we had to have that basically a layer of aluminum weld added to it, and then Devin's dad, David, bored out the center of that to the right size. Now, I learned that when we're doing measurements on stuff like this, that's not accurate. So this is where we needed to measure. So we had to measure the diameter here. The challenge with that is it's not a uniform diameter all the way around. Like if you measure here, here, or here, you're gonna have 3 different values for your measurement. So even out of the factory, so it's not perfectly round out of the factory either. If it was a brand new boat, it wouldn't have been perfectly round. And you know, this boat's 40 years old, so with the clamping force and the steering force, that even sends it out of perfectly round even more. So even though I was under here with my digital calipers that we've talked about it as being so valuable on the boat, what I should have been using is this. So these are, I bought a set of micrometers. They go in 1-inch range, so 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, so on and so forth. And so you find the one that is the best fit for your job, and then you use these to do the measuring. So this is a micrometer or a mic, and I got a 0 to 4 set because it was actually a little bit cheaper to buy the set rather than the individual one that I needed. So with David's help, you take this and you measure your diameter, and you do it in various places above your hole. So there's our hole right here. So we took a bunch of measurements up here, and we took a bunch of measurements down here, and they were all different. Even in like right next to each other, it was different. So granted, you know, there's probably some operator error there too, so I'm by no means a machinist, but still, like, you wouldn't think it would be that out of whack. But when you get like a high precision device like this, and you take your measurements, yeah, they're quite different. And it's really, really obvious when you go to do the install, because, you know, you thought that it was one measurement, but no, it turns out to be completely different. So anyways, it's a long-winded way of saying use the right tool, or hire someone to come out and do the measurements for you. Fortunately, we have Devin's dad here, so we were able to do the measurements together. But yeah, like, well, now, so we're gonna actually do the test fit. So let's see, with all those measurements and all that weighting and all the fixing, if what we did was actually the right measurement. So let's go ahead and get it dry fit. Wish us luck. Okay. So it's on there, and these are tightened, not a lot, but you know, decent enough to squeeze down the lock washer there. So now the moment of truth. What we should see is I put that screwdriver in there just to keep it aligned with there's a pin that goes all the way through, and that'll be bolted in there. So I just put that screwdriver in there to keep everything aligned, because the pin isn't actually drilled out on this side, which is intentional. So there will be a hole about right there where we have a through bolt that goes from here all the way through, all the way over to there. But you only drill that when your wheel's on your rudder shaft, because the through bolts, just like everything else on a boat, and the holes for that through bolt aren't always going to be exactly parallel or perpendicular to each other. So they, from Edson, from the factory, they purposely do not drill the hole on this side, because you should drill it after it's bolted up and into place, because nothing on a boat is square or plumb or perpendicular or parallel. It doesn't exist. So the idea for the screwdriver was to hold this up and just get the height on, so I could just let this one kind of float while I muscled this one into place. So now the test to make sure that we've bored our diameter here, because this is squeezing on. So to make sure we bored our diameter to the right size, not too big that it won't squeeze on, not too small, or sorry, not too big that it would fall and not have any friction, and not too small that you couldn't squeeze it together. So we do have some, this is lined up nicely here. And if we peek over on the other side, it's, oh, I've got some wires stuck in there. Whoops. Look at that. You guys, I pinched a wire in there. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm gonna pull that wire out before we continue this portion of the video. Please hold. Okay, so wire has been freed back here. Who knows if it's still good? I might have pinched the filaments on the inside, but it's gonna get replaced someday anyway. Okay, back to what we were talking about. So you don't want your bore too big, you don't want it too small. Obviously, it's got to just be small enough to squeeze here. With these, there's 2 bolts here and there's 2 bolts there, so you want to squeeze them just enough to get a good tight friction seal there. So we do see that our 2 plates here are, lined up pretty good. It's not perfect yet because this is just a dry fit. And then back there, it's looking pretty good. So the idea is I should now be able, even though we don't have our through bolt through here, I should be able to remove that screwdriver, and this whole unit should stay right there where it is on its own. That would be ideal. So let's do it together. This is live, first time. So let's slide this out. Boom. Yep. Nice. So our bore and all of our measurements and the welding and the reboring, it's the right size. So now we are the lucky ones that get to pull all this apart and stick it back on there with some anti-seize. Yeah, and then we got to drill our through bolt drill. So our through bolt hole. That's gonna be a David job. I'm not gonna do that. I'm really glad he's here because I could probably do it, but he's been doing it for a long time. Drilling straight plumb holes, as plumb as a boat could get. He'll be all right to drill it. I think he wants to drill it too. So yeah, let's go ahead and pull this off and get everything lined up and for the final fitment. Exciting! All right, it's the project that keeps on giving. So here we have the bolt through the rudder shaft, through half of the radial wheel drive, but the height of the radial wheel drive is too tall, so it's hitting the bottom of, I don't know what this thing is, but that thing and that thing are not working together. So we are at a hard stop right now. Put up our new radial wheel drive.
In the lazarette again, where I like to keep, where he likes to keep me.
Yep, like Harry Potter under here.
Exercise.
All right, so we've got our half of our radial wheel drive mocked up on the rudder shaft, and we need to drill out the hole. So we're just making sure that our drill bit can go past the clamp. I'm holding the half onto the shaft so it doesn't move. So check this out. So to get the right angle of the drill,
see how?
Yeah, so that was a little bit. It's tape has to come up a bit. So when Dad is gonna, because Dad's gonna drill this, not me. So when he drills it, he needs to make sure that the angle of his drill, it matches the angle of the hole, because the hole that goes through the rudder shaft is not straight. Surprise, surprise, nothing straight on a boat. Yeah.
It's at an angle.
Yeah, it's at an angle. So the idea of the tape is to give him a better guide of how to hold the angle of the drill as he's matching the angle of the hole.
To the best ability.
To the best we can. So that's a pretty cool trick. And he's just got the tape strapped from the shaft back to just a random bulkhead back there. So yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
Thank you, Lord.
Yep. Here we go.
Guide thy hand. Okay. Want to make sure I get in the hole, though.
Yeah. Down.
There we go. Now we're in it. It feels like it. There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. All right. I see a hole back here.
That's good. That's all we need. As long as we've got a hole.
Yay!
Now, we want to put it together with the other half.
And drill through the whole thing. All the way around.
Yep. So we take our guide tape off.
You heard the plan.
Just go with that.
Yeah, so check this out, guys. Look at how off-center this hole is on the shaft. It's clearly moved over this way. If the hole was like over here a little bit, it would have been more in center. But that's straight out of the factory, right? They didn't drill this perfectly either, so we're gonna be okay. So we'll get the other half bolted on here, and then we'll just drill through the other side to drill through the other half. All right, so we've got the other half bolted in. Now,
Put that back
Dad's
through.
gonna get his
Drill and set up this way.
drill and drill through, and we're gonna poke a hole through this side back here. Is that a better
That's as
angle?
far as
That's
it's
as far
gonna
as
go.
it'll go, yeah.
So,
Well, at least your right arm's right there.
yeah.
So this one we don't need to do the tape trick because the We got enough of a guide because we already drilled this other half. Yay! You did it! Look at that.
That's a workout.
Yeah.
How much are we on the boss over there?
It's the hole is off of it a little bit.
Well, it's expected to be a little bit. That's about right.
It'll be all right there.
Oh, I know. Now what we
We'll
will do though
We'll have
is
a washer there.
also too we can flatten this out.
We can do that too. Yeah, but hey,
it's through.
Yeah, it's through.
It's through.
It's through.
And
good job.
just to prove it,
there's our through bolt right there.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Look at that.
Now what we need to do is pull it loose, put our anti-seize on, tighten it back up.
Pull it loose. Anti-seize, you guys know, when we have two dissimilar metals, we got to protect them from each other. So yeah, we'll pull this off, anti-seize it up, and then install it again for hopefully the last time for this project. Maybe not the last time for the lifetime of the ownership of our boat, because eventually we're going to have to pull the rudder off. But that's another project for a different day. Right now we're making progress today, and we can certainly say we made the boat just a little bit better today, and that's all we can ask for.
We can steer it today.
We can steer today, yeah.